Hi friends, Allison here. This is part 2 of my piece on the Four Evil Paths and how they are on the life state scale or enlightenment spectrum. They are the four worlds at the bottom, and the reason that they are called the Four Evil Paths is that they have a downward trajectory and they tend to drag you down. And it's not that you can truly escape those four worlds, but you can stop nesting there and having an attachment there, and you can have some buoyancy and bring in light to shine through those dark life states so that you can bring compassion for self and others with you while you flit through instead of landing there and digging in your heels. Okay, so if you didn't see the video just prior, that's where I began sort of a thought experiment about our life states. And I'm going to move into using a real life example. Not everybody's going to be thrilled with that example, but here goes. So we have two political parties in this country, and they are in opposition to each other. And out of that comes a lot of anger and animality. The thing is that animality is a terrible, terrible life state for a leader to be in. If you are a leader in your family or your friend group, you have to fight back because it's very metastasizing. It's very toxic and pollutes lots of lives if you can't control it, if you cannot fight back. So, okay, our prior president was in the world of anger and being opposed, right? During that last election cycle. And I'm right now speaking to you from 2022. It's still May, so we haven't had any other elections yet this year. Anyway, out of the anger, the prior president was motivated to take action, like I talked about in my previous video, that we take actions that are rash. We tend to do things that are not well thought out, not the best for all concerned when we are in that state of anger. So that's what happened. And he tweeted the following words: "The only good Democrat is a dead Democrat." That is the world of animality. So now we've gone down to the world of animality. That rash action, slashing somebody's tires or tweeting, "Go forth and kill the entirety of my political opposition." Those are the world of animality. It's a very ugly state of life to be in. I'm going to get you before you get me. Any kind of homicidal or genocidal concepts come from the world of animality. So, what happened then? What happened then, it may not have seemed like cause and effect to every single person or to someone who studies political science, but in a spiritual way, the support began to erode. And there was a downfall in process after that point. So he lost the election and began to beg officials in Georgia and elsewhere to manufacture votes that didn't exist for him. And that right there is thoroughly the world of hungry spirits, the world of hunger, that second world, from anger to animality to the world of hunger. Now it's, oh my God, I'm hungry for attention and support and all those wonderful yes men that were standing around me all the time, and all of the power that I enjoyed. It's going away, and I'm ready for a fix. I need a fix. And so That's just so the world of an addict, isn't it? I'm apologizing for that, to my siblings in recovery, but this is that world. And perhaps it might be unpleasant, but it's true. An addict can, mug somebody for money for drugs or burglarize a place so they can get what they want. And they can really think of it as a need, but it's really a want, right? It's not shelter or oxygen. It's not food or water. It's drugs, right? So we get addicted to certain things. And when we have that violent lashing out that is also not well thought out, that is the world of hunger. That kind of violence that we saw in January, on January 6th, last year, just last year, that is so the act of hungry spirits trying to feed a need and losing at the same time. Because, how many addicts go on to win at life if they get to the point where they are lashing out in violence? Usually they're in jail or overdosing or on the run or some other such lovely life state. Right, lashing out is definitely a sign of a hungry spirit. So, all the begging for support that wasn't there and pouring money into TV ads, this was what his life had become. And, well, in the life state of hunger, one never enjoys the eating, the feeding. It's not joyful. It's not going to bring happiness. Even if you have, words and words of how happy it'll make you to get these votes or to cheat and to get whatever's in that lady's purse and run off with that money. It's not happiness. It'll never make you happy. Even if the prior president had succeeded in eradicating all Democrats, okay? Even if that had happened, all his supporters just diligently getting in line and digging the graves for all those Democrats that were, dead because of the stochastic terrorism in that tweet. Well, the dissent is going to arise, right? These people, everybody left is a murderer or complicit. And so how can you foster trust? How can you cooperate with who's left? There is no such thing. It's just more killing and more animalistic behavior. So it drags you to hell. So that's pure misery, because eventually you're standing alone, blood on your hands, and no one else to dig the holes. So it's a ugly, example, but it is the lowest life state that there is. And that's how you get dragged down, is those previous life states, those higher ones. And you get attached to it and you fight for it and it drags you down. I think it's the attachment that is really the deep issue there, don't you? The nesting there and thinking that that's as high as it goes because you're blaming other people for it not going any higher. Yeah, there's no way to build happiness on other people's misery. Ultimately, it is self-destructive because you cannot do everything yourself. You cannot get gasoline out of Mother Earth for your vehicle or mine everything you need or create everything, manufacture everything. You can't do it all yourself. Other people are needed. And when you finally realize the value of other lives, you begin to move up that scale. And when you chant for other lives, you really start to breathe a buoyant, fresh breath into that spectrum, and you begin to shine light through it so that you can perceive a higher reality, that you're connected to other people, you matter to other people, and you have potential in your life, and so do they. And so instead of being destructive, be constructive and build trust and relationships with others that pull them up instead of drag them down. So I hope that you will at least stop shaming people for having hope. I hope that you will try chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo to see if you can take that Buddhahood to the gym and pull yourself out of the attachment, get unstuck from the cookie sheet, as it were, on those lower life states, and don't be dragged down. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. Thanks.